Okay, so safety advice for anybody who's got a Wanhao Duplicator i3+. I've found a fire hazard, and everybody should make this fix to protect themselves and their families at home. Okay, so fine, it's heavily modified as you can see, but the problem is going to exist on yours, even whether it's modified or not. So if you take off the bed and have a look at the bed plate underneath, then you can do that simply by removing the 4 thumbtacks and the screws. You will see underneath that the cable that comes up to the heated bed that carries the temperature and the power has to pass through the metal plate that's underneath. Obviously I've got the main bed upside down right now, and in here you can see that there's this square where the cable passes through. I've got this because I'm about to catch all of the metal filings. Now the edge of this square area that passes the cable through is, oh, bear with me. So the square area that the cable passes through is actually rough, especially on the right hand side here, which is for me where the cable is rubbing the most. Now this is in the wrong position because this isn't lined up. You know, I've got it turned around upside down and it's an inch or two from its normal position. But the hole exists on the front end as well, just in case the plate's installed the other way around, and we can clearly see that it's, I don't know if it can be seen actually, but it is rough. I can feel this with my finger. So what is that going to do? Here is the result of that. You see it? I'm going to try and hold the phone steady in a second here. See if we can get some better focus. Let's see if I can do a better shot here. You can just about see it, but it's right there. Bear with me here. So right there is the damage that's been done to the cable, and eventually that would have cut through then and actually exposed the wiring. The other fix that you might have seen here is this Captain tape is holding down the temperature sensor of the thermistor, and eventually, you know, this is because it's flexing every time the bed moves back and forth. Eventually this comes out of the Captain tape, and it might burn down, because if it can't feel that the bed is in fact at temperature, it'll continue to send power until it can feel the heat coming from it. And of course the actual temperature is going to be a lot higher than what this can sense if this sensor isn't actually touching the metal material. So what I've done here is use some clear epoxy resin to hold the cable in place, so when it flexes at this point, you know, there's no actual movement on the sensor itself, which is just in the little hole in there. That's the epoxy I used. So my task now is to carefully push this cable aside. I might have to open it up and perhaps take the cable away from the board, just to feed this through so I can easily grind it. But I'm going to use one of these just to make it smooth so that the problem doesn't happen again. I might also, well, I will be putting some insulation tape around this just to give it a bit more strength, just in case. But after making these changes, I'm going to keep a really close eye on things to make sure that the problem isn't reoccurring, and to make sure it's safe. Speaking of safety, I always keep a fireball nearby just in case, which is an automatic fire extinguishing system. And I also make sure that the fuse wire, which you can just about make out through the plastic, is always facing the direction of the printer like this, so that if there is a flame, you know, it'll catch the fuse before the front of the ball, which would need to expand around there. So yeah, Wanhao Duplicator i3+.